We wear the mask that grins and lies, it hides our cheeks and shades our eyes. This debt we pay to human guile. With torn and bleeding hearts we smile and mouth with myriad subtleties. Why should the world be overwise in counting all our tears and sighs? Nay, let them only see us while we wear the mask. We smile, but oh, great Christ, our cries to thee from tortured souls arise. We sing, but oh, the clay is vile beneath our feet and long the mile. But let the world dream otherwise. We wear the mask. Happy Teachable Moment Monday, everyone. The poem you just heard, We Wear the Mask, was written in 1895 by Paul Lawrence Dunbar. He was a major contributor to our literary canon, so if this is the first time you've heard his name, please look him up. Anyway, it answers a question I've been pondering for a while now. Why do white people think we were living in a post-racial America? I don't believe the whole answer is disillusionment or disinterest. I believe a large part of it has to do with the sentiment of this poem. We wear the mask. Even though we're supposed to be free, we send the impression that things have gotten better, but in reality, we're still mired by extreme racism and hardship. We wear the mask because it hides the pain we endure and allows us to put on a brave face in order to survive. You see, there's an unfair responsibility that comes with being born in this skin. As soon as we're old enough to recognize that we're different, we're then burdened with trying to understand it. When I was in elementary school, I spent many a day asking my mom the following questions. Why were our ancestors enslaved? Why were we considered 3/5 a human being? Why do white people hate us so much? Why did we have to fight to be treated equal? My mom did her best to answer them, but I always walked away confused. And now I find myself asking a new question. Why do I fear for my life? Because I do, or at least I have. And I'm not fearful of much, but there have been 2 times in my life where I felt like I was in danger because I wear this skin. The first time was in 1986, shortly after I joined the Navy. I was stationed in Meridian, Mississippi for A school, training school basically. I went to a local nightclub with a Marine I was dating, and I was in uniform, he wasn't. We left the club and hopped in the back of a cab to go back to base, except the cab driver took a different exit and drove us a mile deep into the woods. When we asked where he was going, he said he was taking a shortcut because he needed to make a pit stop. We were at his mercy. We had no idea where we were going or how we could get back to the road. And I remember we moved closer to one another as the driver pulled into a makeshift carport, got out, and made a phone call. At one point, he turned to us long enough for me to make out Navy in his conversation. He turned his back, and a minute or two later, got back in the car and drove us to base. I believe with every ounce of my being that my Navy uniform saved my life. I'd never been more terrified in my life until 45 took office and unearthed the underbelly of this country. And really, most recently, in the aftermath of George Floyd's brutal murder. I canceled several plans to drive down south to Los Angeles to visit friends because I was afraid of what might happen should I get pulled over for driving while black. Yeah, it's a real thing. Here's my point. It's more than a notion being black in this country. It not only takes strength of character, it requires strength of spirit. And to be truly free, we need to live mask-free. So to my white allies who want to help change the narrative, I need you to be willing to hear our stories without taking it personally or becoming defensive or adding unnecessary guilt. We know all white people aren't racist or prejudiced or bigoted, but most white people lack the knowledge and information required to help us in a meaningful way. So, going forward, every Teachable Moment Monday will be a history lesson intertwined with real life experiences, and unlike your high school history class, it's gonna be fun. And because I love you, and I'm more concerned with moving us forward rather than having us stuck in the same place, I wanna help you help us by being your sounding board. I know you're reading books like White Fragility and How to Be Anti-Racist in a Vacuum, meaning you're reading them amongst yourselves, reading and talking amongst yourselves because you're afraid to say the wrong thing, or you're sitting in silence because you don't know what to say or do. So send your questions, thoughts, comments to me, risk-free, no judgment. as long as you're respectful. I look forward to hearing from you. See you next week.